If you were doing something every day that slowly unhooked your brain's wiring, would you want to know? I'm asking because many smart, capable older adults are unintentionally accelerating memory loss with ordinary habits that feel harmless, even helpful. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to hand you the off-ramp. Today, I'm walking you through 7 everyday patterns that quietly shrink cognitive reserve, dull attention, and age the brain faster than it needs to. The good news? Each one is changeable, starting now, no matter your age or fitness level. I'll show you simple replacements that protect memory, sharpen focus, and support mood. Keep listening, because the final habit on this list is the one most people overlook, and fixing it can be more powerful than any supplement. By the end, you'll have a clear, realistic plan you can start this week. Ready to protect your future self? Let's begin with the one that sounds small but stacks up day after day until it rewires your brain toward forgetfulness. Skipping that gentle morning movement. I know, mornings get busy, joints protest, the weather's fussy, but a brief, moderate walk within a couple of hours of waking sets off a cascade your brain loves. When you move, your heart sends oxygen-rich blood upward, and your brain releases a growth factor nicknamed fertilizer for neurons. That signal helps reinforce existing connections and encourages new ones, especially in areas that guide memory and planning. You don't need a gym or a marathon. Think steady pacing that lets you talk but not sing. 10 minutes is good. 20 to 30 is better. Morning light nudges your internal clock too, which improves sleep quality later. Critical, because sleep is when the brain clears out metabolic waste. If balance is wobbly, use a loop around your kitchen island, a hallway, or a local pool for water-assisted walking. If you use a cane or walker, fantastic. Bring it. Consistency beats intensity. What matters is showing up most days so your brain gets the signal. We're alive, engaged, and building capacity. Want to make that walk more brain protective without making it harder? Add tiny novelty. Change routes twice a week. Look for 3 new details each time. An address number, a garden color, a roof line. Turning your head to notice fresh features recruits attention networks that often get sluggish with age. If it's safe, stand tall and take a few steps backward on a smooth surface. It challenges coordination differently and wakes up spatial awareness. On days when joints complain, switch to a 5-minute sit-to-stand circuit. Stand up from a sturdy chair, sit back down with control, repeat 10 times, rest, and do another set later. That rhythmic effort raises blood flow and primes your brain similarly to a walk. Pair the movement with one balance drill, heel to toe along a counter, or standing on one leg while holding the sink. Because better balance is strongly linked to better cognitive outcomes. The rule of thumb, any gentle activity that raises your heart rate a bit and makes you pay attention is food for your brain. Now let's talk about a habit that promises rest, but often steals it. Relying on sleep aids long-term. There's an important distinction here. Some medications are medically necessary and prescribed for specific reasons. Those decisions are between you and your clinician. But many older adults slide into using over-the-counter PM pills or sedating antihistamines night after night. Sedation isn't the same as restorative sleep. Deep sleep and dream sleep are when short-term memories stabilize, emotions get processed, and the brain's cleaning system flushes out waste. Sedatives can fragment those stages, leaving you groggy yet under-rested, and over time, that adds up to forgetfulness, slower recall, and low mood. If you're using a sleep aid most nights, please don't stop abruptly. Instead, ask your clinician about a taper and safer alternatives. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia is the gold standard and can work even when sleep feels impossible. In the meantime, let's stack some practical drug-free supports that help your brain do what it's designed to do. Cool your sleep space a few degrees. Most brains settle more easily when the room is on the cooler side. A warm bath or shower, 60-90 minutes before bed, is counterintuitive but effective. You warm up, then your body temperature drops as you dry off, which cues sleepiness. Dim overhead lights after dinner and switch to lamps. Bright light tells your brain it's midday. Reserve the bed for sleep and intimacy only. When we answer emails or scroll in bed, the brain learns that bed equals problem-solving time. If you like gentle sleep nutrition, consider a small snack with magnesium-rich foods, pumpkin seeds or a few almonds, or naturally, melatonin-containing tart cherries. The classic 4-7-8 breathing pattern can also be powerful. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8, repeating a few cycles to settle your nervous system. And if you wake in the night, get out of bed and read something calm under a warm light until your eyes grow heavy again. These are small switches with outsized effects over weeks, not just one night. Let's move to screens, the easy companion that sometimes acts like quicksand. Hours of passive television or endless scrolling can nudge the brain into a low-effort state. There's nothing wrong with a favorite show. Stories are nourishing. The risk comes with long, uninterrupted stretches of watching. Passive intake slows the mental gear shifts that keep attention flexible. It can also displace the activities that build cognitive reserve: conversation, problem-solving, movement, and sleep. If the news elevates your stress, that stress chemistry can be rough on memory centers. Instead of eliminating screens entirely, reshape how you use them. Set a gentle limit, say 2 hours of recreational screen time, and split it. Watch one episode, then switch to something interactive, a puzzle, light stretching, or a call with a friend to talk about the show. Choose content that invites participation. Documentaries that prompt you to look up something new, cooking videos you try in your kitchen, or language apps that nudge you to repeat and recall. And because evening light matters, especially for older eyes, use warm-toned lamps and put blue light filters on devices at least an hour before bed. If you wear glasses, amber-tinted lenses in the evening can help minimize sleep disruption. Prefer video games to TV? Strategic and puzzle-based games can be surprisingly good for attention and planning, particularly when played in moderation. Consider making stacked habits out of your shows. Watch while doing gentle pedaling on a portable underdesk cycle, folding laundry, or following along with seated mobility exercises. You'll turn passive time into dual-task time, movement plus attention, which is excellent training for the brain. And because your brain loves structure, try a simple rhythm. Watch, move, connect, learn, repeat. It's a kinder way to keep screens in your life without letting them crowd out the inputs that keep you sharp and steady. Now for breakfast, the meal that can either steady your brain for the day or send it on a blood sugar roller coaster. Many convenient breakfast foods are built from refined flour and added sugars, pastries, sweetened cereals, instant oats with dessert-like flavors, fruit juices. They digest quickly, driving a rapid glucose spike followed by a crash. The crash looks like foggy thinking, irritability, trembling, and urgent hunger. Over time, frequent spikes and dips can contribute to inflammation and less efficient insulin signaling, both of which are linked to brain aging. Artificially sweetened diet swaps aren't a free pass. Some people find they maintain a sweet palate and don't reduce cravings, and research on their brain effects is mixed. The fix is straightforward. Emphasize protein, fiber, and healthy fats earlier in the day. They slow digestion, stabilize energy, and give your brain the steady fuel it prefers. Here are 3 gentle breakfast templates that protect cognition without turning your kitchen into a science lab. 1. Eggs with color and plants. Scramble or poach 2 eggs in extra virgin olive oil. Pile on sautéed spinach or tomatoes. Add half an avocado, and finish with a sprinkle of herbs and black pepper. 2. A fiber-first bowl. Use steel-cut or old-fashioned oats, not instant. Stir in ground flax or chia, a handful of walnuts, cinnamon for warmth, and a small scoop of plain yogurt or cottage cheese for protein. Add a handful of berries, wild blueberries if you can find them, for a concentrated source of polyphenols. 3. A savory swap. Leftovers from dinner, salmon or beans with vegetables, make an excellent breakfast and keep glucose steady. Hate fish? That's okay. A chia flax mix or an algae-based omega-3 supplement can help fill the gap. Ask your clinician what's appropriate for you. Most importantly, notice how you feel 2 hours after eating. Clearer head and calmer hunger? Your brain is giving you a thumbs up. If this is helping, take a moment to subscribe to Senior Vitality Pro and tell me your age or where you're watching from in the comments. I read them and shape future topics around your needs. Your experiences guide what I cover next. Let's shift to something almost nobody thinks about: how you breathe. Many people, especially when stressed or congested, drift into mouth breathing during the day and at night. Your nose isn't just a hole in your face, it's a filter, humidifier, and traffic controller. Nasal breathing boosts nitric oxide levels, which helps widen blood vessels and improve oxygen delivery. Mouth breathing skips that step, dries tissues, and can invite snoring or fragmented sleep, both unkind to memory. If you wake with a dry mouth, sore throat, or a headache, or if your partner hears you snore, consider this a gentle cue to retrain. Start with posture. Rest your tongue lightly on the roof of your mouth, with the tip just behind your front teeth. That position naturally encourages the jaw to close and the lips to seal. Practice 5 minutes at a time while reading or watching a show. During the day, try a simple cadence. In through your nose for 5 seconds, out through your nose for 5. Your heart rate and breathing begin to synchronize, and you'll feel calmer. Nighttime is when mouth breathing can do the most damage because it disrupts sleep architecture. A few home steps can help. Clear nasal passages before bed with a saline rinse or a steamy shower. If seasonal congestion is your nemesis, ask your clinician about safe nasal steroid sprays used correctly. Some people benefit from gentle mouth taping, with a small, breathable strip placed vertically across the lips to remind them to keep the mouth closed. Never use anything occlusive, and avoid this if you have significant nasal obstruction, respiratory conditions, or concerns about safety. If snoring, witnessed apneas, or daytime sleepiness are present, get evaluated for sleep apnea. Treating it can transform memory, mood, and blood pressure. A well-fitted nasal dilator for sleep, side sleeping, and a slightly elevated head position can also help. The goal isn't perfection. It's nudging your default back to the nose, hour by hour, so your brain gets the oxygen and sleep stability it needs to clean and repair. Next, we're going to peek inside your pantry. Cooking fats are not just calories. They become part of your cell membranes, including neurons. The oils we heat most often matter because some are more stable than others. Many common vegetable oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids. We do need omega-6s, but modern diets often overdo them relative to omega-3s. Excess, especially when oils are repeatedly heated or stored poorly, can promote oxidation. Those are chemical changes that create compounds the body has to neutralize. A brain-friendly approach is to use more stable fats for higher heat and save delicate oils for drizzles. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in polyphenols and does well for low to moderate heat cooking and salads. For higher heat sautéing, consider avocado oil, ghee, or refined coconut oil, which are more heat stable. The details matter. Keep oils in dark bottles, away from the stove, caps tightly closed, and buy sizes you'll use within a couple of months so they don't go stale. This isn't about fear. No oil is pure evil. It's about reducing your exposure to overheated, oxidized fats. If you often fry foods at high temperatures, try shifting to baking, steaming, or sautéing lower and slower. Add nuts, seeds, and fish a few times a week for omega-3s that support neuronal membranes. If you don't eat fish, talk to your clinician about algae-based DHA. One easy routine upgrade: make a simple vinaigrette with extra virgin olive oil and vinegar or lemon, whisk in mustard and herbs, and keep it in the fridge. You'll reach for that instead of bottled dressings with added sugars and unstable oils. And remember, most of what protects the brain isn't one superstar ingredient. It's the pattern. Lots of colorful plants, adequate protein, smart fats, and minimizing burnt or repeatedly heated oils. That pattern repeatedly shows up in research on healthier aging. We've arrived at the habit that can undo much of the good from everything else if we ignore it. Loneliness and thin social connection. You can eat well, move daily, and take your vitamins, and still feel yourself slipping if your days lack meaningful human contact. Our brains are wired for relationship. Deep conversation, shared laughter, and being known by someone reliable activate networks for language, empathy, planning, and reward. That mental cross-training builds what we call cognitive reserve, the extra capacity that helps the brain adapt if disease tries to chip away at it. The irony is that loneliness can happen in a full house. It isn't about the number of people around you. It's about whether you feel seen and needed. When we feel disconnected, the stress response hums in the background, sleep phrase, and motivation sinks. Over time, that cocktail is rough on memory and mood. The medicine? Purposeful, regular contact that matters to you. What does that look like in daily life? A weekly standing date, same day, same time, with a walking buddy, book club, faith group, or volunteer shift. Predictability makes it easier to show up, and seeing the same faces helps conversations deepen quickly. If mobility is limited, video calls beat voice calls for brain engagement because your eyes get to read expressions. Make them interactive. Cook the same recipe together, play an online word game, or watch an old movie together while on speaker, pausing to chat. Consider intergenerational contact. Teens and 20-somethings can teach you tech, and you can mentor them in life skills. If you love animals and your situation allows, a pet can add structure, comfort, and micro-social moments with neighbors. And here's a small but mighty practice. Set a daily connection window, 15 minutes to reach out to one person you haven't spoken to in a while. Don't overthink it. Saw a photo that reminded me of you. How are you? That's enough to open a door. Not a natural conversationalist? Use prompts that invite stories rather than yes/no answers. Try, what's something you learned the hard way? Or, what was your favorite spot to go as a kid, and why? Then listen more than you talk. Listening is a cognitive workout. If crowds exhaust you, choose small circles, 2 or 3 people, but talk deeply. For many, volunteering flips a powerful switch because it blends social contact with purpose. Reading to children at a library, greeting at a community center, tutoring adults, or assembling meal kits. These roles reinforce that you are needed. Choirs and singing groups uniquely combine breathwork, rhythm, memory, and community. If singing isn't your thing, a drumming circle or theater club can offer similar benefits. Start tiny. 1 call today. 1 plan on the calendar this week. Small steps close the loop on loneliness faster than grand plans that never happen. Let's zoom out for a moment, because by now you might be thinking, Elise, that's a lot. It is, until you notice how these pieces reinforce each other. Morning movement helps sleep. Better sleep reduces cravings and steadies blood sugar, which makes a protein-rich breakfast more appealing. Steadier energy makes it easier to turn off the TV and call a friend. Meaningful connection improves mood, which increases the likelihood you'll lace up your shoes tomorrow. This is what we want, a self-supporting loop. To build it, pick one place to start, the easiest win that feels almost too small. 5 minutes of walking after you brush your teeth, turning off screens 30 minutes earlier, putting your olive oil in a cool cupboard, and your TV remote next to a crossword. Don't try to fix all 7 habits at once. Choose one, make it automatic, then add another. Your brain loves repeatable routines. Feed it a steady rhythm, and it will reward you with better attention, memory, and resilience. Because I promised you a plan, here's a gentle 7-day starter. Day 1, Move for 10 minutes in the morning and notice 3 new things outside. Day 2. Swap your breakfast for protein, fiber, and healthy fat. Day 3. Cap TV at 2 episodes and do a puzzle or a call between them. Day 4. Cool your bedroom, dim lights after dinner, and try 4-7-8 breathing before bed. Day 5. Set a 15-minute connection window and call someone you miss. Day 6. Cook with a heat-stable fat and stash delicate oils in a dark place. Day 7. Practice nasal breathing during a short walk and do a saline rinse before bed. Then repeat, adjusting as needed, and layer in the next small step that feels right. Keep a scrap of paper on the counter and tally your wins. Those check marks are dopamine, and dopamine helps habits stick. You're not chasing perfection, you're training momentum. A quick word on safety and personalization, because you are not a generic case study. If you use prescription sleep medication, blood thinners, or have conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or significant sleep apnea, tailor changes with your healthcare team. If you feel dizzy when walking, prioritize balance training in a safe environment and consider a physical therapy consult. If you suspect depression or you've lost interest in things you used to love, that's not a character flaw. It's a treatable medical issue that absolutely changes how your brain functions. Reach out. Help works faster when it's on your side early. Likewise, if you've made changes and you're not seeing benefits, it doesn't mean they're not helping. Sometimes we need a nudge or a different order of operations to notice the lift. This is where community shines. Let others reflect back the progress you might be too close to see. If you like quick anchors, here are the takeaways to tuck in your pocket. Move most mornings, even briefly. Protect real sleep over sedation. Trade long stretches of passive screens for shorter, more interactive use. Front-load your day with steady fuel, protein, fiber, healthy fats, color. Breathe through your nose when you can, and treat snoring or apnea if present. Choose cooking fats with stability, store them well, and shift away from repeated high-heat frying. And above all, protect your social health like you protect your heart, because they are deeply intertwined. Each step is small. Together, they're the difference between sliding into fog and walking into your 80s with a steady gait and a bright mind. I've watched patients and caregivers stack these changes and watch fear turn into confidence. The brain is plastic. It responds. It wants to work for you. I'll leave you with this. What you do today is not just a vote for how you'll feel at bedtime. It's a love note to your future self. That extra 10 minutes of movement, that kind meal you cooked, the person you called, the show you paused so you could sleep. These are not minor. They are the quiet, consistent choices that build cognitive reserve, your brain's rainy day fund. If you've been telling yourself it's too late, that you've missed your moment, consider this your new starting line. Begin where you are. Choose one habit and make it kinder. In a month, you'll be surprised at how much lighter your attention feels and how much steadier your memory feels getting out of a chair or catching a name you might have lost before. And if a day goes sideways, forgive it and start again tomorrow. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 brain-draining habits surprised you the most, and why? Have you noticed calmer thinking or better recall after changing any one of them? Switching breakfast, adjusting screen time, treating snoring, or adding a morning walk? Share your age or where you're watching from, and tell me what you're trying next. Your stories help others find themselves in this conversation, and they help me shape what I cover next so we can keep your brain and your life vibrant.